Thank you for being with us, and thank you everyone else for joining. Today, Baba, we're doing chapter 15 of the Ashtavakra Gita, titled Knowledge of the Self.
Okay.
It's probably one of my favorite in chapters. It really has all the wisdom you need to know.
Wonderful.
Okay, I will, as usual, Baba, I'll read the verse, and then if you have a comment or would like to comment, uh, just chime in anytime.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Chapter 15, Knowledge of the Self, verse 1, Ashtavakra speaks. A student whose mind is pure and calm learns easily, even from teachings given casually by the Guru, but one whose mind is unsettled and too active is bewildered in trying to learn, even though they spend their whole life trying.
So this is the first thing a guru wants, or you can call it demands, is the attention of the student. When the guru talks, even if he mentions anything casually, if the student is paying apt attention, totally concentrated, he can pick up the thread. When the technical things are spoken or clue is given, so that's what Ashtavakra also is saying. This is what we have always felt. Perhaps I would have also told in my talks also. That's important, paying attention.
Baba, I'll read the comments that you made in the text. When the master teaches, if one can pay apt attention, listen carefully, it shall penetrate the inner layers of the mind. They can realize the truth easily. Their mind,
Yes,
their
yeah,
minds,
definitely. Concentration is so important. When the master is teaching, then it should enter the innermost layer of the mind, consciousness, what you mean. Then you won't forget, it will be there, always sitting there. Like any single word or few words, a sentence that my Guru Shiva Balayogi would have told, it is sitting in our consciousness, ringing in the ears all the time. Because I used to be just waiting for the time whenever Swamiji used to come to Dehradun ashram, or I got a chance to go to him, used to wait is what is it that Swamiji might like to convey. Something might suddenly come out of him. So I need to be very alert for that thing. At that time, my mind should not be wavering or roaming here and there or with any other imaginations. It should not be paying attention to anything else that is happening other than what the master is saying.
Baba, you say that this can happen if the mind is not corrupted. What is a corrupted mind, and what causes the mind to be corrupted?
Corrupted means the same. Its attention is elsewhere. It is imagining something else and it is looking for something else somewhere else. Like you are sitting, you are watching me, I am trying to talk to you, but your mind is gone to Manhattan in New York. Something like that example. So that's what means. That means at that time the mind is corrupted, is not paying attention to what the master is saying. So that happens when the student has a reverence to the master. With the reverence, fear and a devotion combination also comes. So that is important. Otherwise, it won't go to the head. So student might tell, "Okay, Babaji something he told something he told many times." Many students they keep writing on the mail. Okay, I tell something and they tell something else. So that type of things happen if they haven't paid attention. Again, I have to explain. So pay attention, read this carefully. like that I have to read. So that's what corrupting means. It is losing its ability to pay attention to the master's teachings. So that's when it becomes corrupted.
So how can you uncorrupt it so you can pay attention?
Simply by paying attention, by not allowing the mind to get attracted to anything else, and by setting a priority that what the mastery teachers say. Suppose all the participants are here in the Zoom class. Today they should be eagerly waiting. They should have an yearning. Oh, what question might come up for Babaji? What answer that Babaji might give? We must be alert, listening to him. What is he saying? What is he trying to convey? So if that is there, then the corruption disappears, it gets uncorrupted, and the attention comes.
So a lot of that is your sincere desire to learn, to know.
Very important, very important. Yes, sincere desire, understanding the need. That's why we always tell students sincerity is also important. When such a student goes to the right master, he will not compromise for any low quality miracles or any other entertaining talks by the Guru. He will not be interested. He will be interested only in the knowledge of the self, knowledge of the self.
That's this chapter, Baba. So, verse 2, non-attachment to the illusory objects gives liberation. Attraction to the illusory objects leads to bondage. This is the simple truth. Now do as you wish.
Yeah, it is so simple, you see. It is so simple to understand. Material world is there. You get attached to them. All the time you are thinking, you have desire and you are visualizing, you want that, and you are stressed and you are restless, you want that one. So you bind yourself to that unhappiness. You are binding yourself and you are unhappy. Then you start thinking that this world is giving me unhappiness. World is neither giving any happiness nor is going to give you unhappiness. It is simply there. So if you go after the world, if you want, then you feel unhappy, you are creating unhappiness to yourself. Then Ashtavakra says, okay, now it is up to you. Whatever you want to do, you do it. Means we are not trying to impose, we just try to say what the formula is, what the technology is. If you do like this, this will give you pain. Now it is up to you. You want to go after that, you do, or you want to liberate yourself, then you will be happy.
I'll read your commentary. I like it a lot. It's up to the disciple to decide whether he really wants self-realization or wants to go on trying to enjoy the impermanent world, which gives more sorrows than happiness. If one can understand the impermanence of the world and its objects, only such a one can develop detachment and focus on the sadhana. The master sternly warns the disciple that if one is going to be attached to the impermanent objects of the world, it gives rise to more bondage, and this bondage always makes one miserable and forces one to lose happiness and peace.
Yeah, we have always told you need happiness. So you need to look for a permanent thing that can give you a permanent happiness. A certain thing which itself is not permanent, like this universe is impermanent, including your own physical body. So how can these impermanent things give you a permanent happiness? It itself is not going to be there. I'm going to be happy with this mountain. So one day somebody might come and break it to pieces and go away, then I am unhappy. The world, one day somebody will drop a bomb and the earth breaks into two. I am unhappy. So like that, it's what happens. If the thing is impermanent, you never know what's going to happen, and then you are unhappy. So if you go for the permanent thing, which cannot be broken into pieces, which cannot be destroyed by nuclear bombs, which cannot be destroyed in any way by any weapon of the world, by any person of the world, anything, not even fire, not even any weapon, not even the waters, anything, nothing can disturb that one. Even the air cannot disturb because it is beyond all these things. That permanent entity, if you go, then you get a permanent peace. Then your peace is secure, guaranteed, which nobody can disturb you. Somebody can praise you, you are already happy. Somebody can criticize you, you are happy because you are already happy. That criticizing will not disturb your happiness or peace.
Baba, verse 2 speaks of gaining liberation kind of through non-attachment to illusory objects. What is liberation in this context?
Here, liberation, the mind with desires has become attached to the materialistic world. I want this property, I want this vehicle, I want this much of money, like that. So it has binded itself. It is in the bondage. It is looking for happiness all the time, imagining and wanting such things. Now you silence the mind so that all the desires disappear, all thoughts and visions disappear, then you are liberated.
Baba, this this knowledge that you're giving us, and knowledge like that, these texts, ancient texts and things, they help us dedicate, time and understand the need for sadhana or spiritual practice. What else can we do to inspire ourselves to take time out to do sadhana?
Take time out to be in the company of the master, in the company of such spiritual seekers, so that you get influenced. Your yearning for spirituality gets more supportively solidified. It becomes more solid. Yes, the path I have taken is the right. Look, all these people are talking the same thing. They are also going on the same path. So I am on the right path. Like that you get encouraged. Occasionally you sit with the master and chat like this by putting intelligent questions on the topic. And when the master talks, because master will talk only when he knows that you are interested to listen. Otherwise, master will remain quiet. So that's how it happens. So you have to show that interest that you want to listen to the master. Then the master can thoroughly clean up your brain, wash your brain, and prepare it for the self-knowledge earning.
Baba, the term sadhana, we use that a lot. Would you explain what sadhana means?
Literally, sadhana means your efforts to achieve. Here, in spirituality, it is synonymous that your efforts to achieve self-realization. That is sadhana. So you get rid of that thing to which the mind is attached unnecessarily, which is impermanent, which does not exist. Liberate it first so that the mind can become one with itself. So for that, the sadhana has to be done, your efforts in that direction, as advocated, advised, taught by the master technically.
Right. Verse 3 I'll read. Knowledge of this truth turns one who is eloquent, wise, and active into one who is mute, inert, and docile. So it is shunned by those who still wish to enjoy the world. And Baba, I'll just read your commentary and then if you'd like to comment. In Shloka 3, the Master tells another truth. A person who would be worldly wise and shrewd with active participation to achieve worldly wealth, thinking such wealth would give happiness and power, considers themselves to be the most wise. Such a person would not like to go for self-realization because one might lose interest in worldly affairs. Such people are more interested in the world in spite of the fact that they always undergo fear, confusion, tension, unhappiness, and do not want the spiritual path. But the aim is the same, happiness and peace. Only spiritual truth can give this highest and permanent happiness and peace. Such people are not interested in the spiritual path, will have an illusion that enjoyment is only in the world and its objects, whereas worldly objects, being impermanent, always make a person more miserable.
See, their mind is not ready to accept the fact of impermanence of the world. It gets scared. Like in Mahabharata, answering the Yaksha, the angel's questions, Yudhishthira, the eldest of the brothers, says, the greatest wonder is everybody know that they have to die, yet they behave and believe as if they are not going to die. This is the greatest surprise, wonder for me. Like that he says, means knowingly we don't want to believe that. Everybody knows it's impermanent, world is impermanent. Today it is there, tomorrow it may not be there. But they don't want to think about that. They don't want to believe it. They want to stick on to that one. So this is what happens. You try, you have it, no problem. Say you want to have a property, house. That is no problem. Everybody needs a house, a shelter to live. Whether we build a monastery or a house, it is all the same. But if something happens, so you just be ready. So when you are in the house, when you are in the monastery also, in the mind, try to remain liberated. You just be ready. If it happens, if it happens. For 50 years we are in the monastery ashram. We always were ready. If Swamiji kicks me out, it's okay, I will go and sit under the tree. That thought gave us so pleasant and peace. It's okay, no problem. Okay. So like that, if one can be ready, understanding the impermanence, that's what Ashtavakra is telling, not me. So you be in the world, you have everything of the world, but if it threatens to go, it's okay, no problem.
But you have that confidence when you realize that that happiness is within yourself. You have
Yes.
you have access to it.
Yeah, then you know that one, this is here. So for this happiness only, I was trying to look for in the world. So now it is here, so don't have to worry. So it just, such a person is only a witness to the world and its happenings.
Baba, what is the spiritual path exactly? And is the pursuit of cities and superpowers and celestial or other worlds experiences a spiritual path?
No, this is again going back to the world. Why do you want Siddhi? Why do you want a superpower? So that you can perform such work in the world and obtain things of the world which an ordinary person with an ordinary strength cannot perform or obtain. Again, you are going for the world only desires. Otherwise, why do you need? You just be an ordinary person because you don't need. You don't need at all. So one time, if you remember, somewhere in Albuquerque or Philadelphia, one person was arguing with me. Can you tell me what is in my pocket? I tell, "Okay, I don't have to tell. I am not interested to tell." That he insisted. Does it mean that you don't have the power to tell? Okay, does it means to you whether I have that power or not? I'm not interested. What is in your pocket first? Why should I go for that one? I will not do tapas to know what is in your pocket. I have come to know of that truth. You call me an ordinary person or self-realized, both ways doesn't matter for me. Then he kept quiet. So like that, siddhis and sadhana. So that is not spiritual path. Actual spiritual path is study and becoming aware of the ultimate truth, which is in the form of spirit, means infinite, which is not visible to naked eyes. It appears to be there and it doesn't appears to be there. And to know and become aware of that truth, that you are that. That is the spiritual path. That is all. After knowing which, you don't have to know anything else. After becoming aware of that, you don't need any power, any siddhis, nothing. You don't need anything.
So basically, Baba, nothing that's in the mind can bring satisfaction or bring peace, lasting peace.
Yeah, if you are really self-realized, your mind is settled into the divinity. So where is the desire for anything else? If you need to have a siddhi, you have to resolve. That means when you are resolving, your mind is not in the divinity, you are away from the divine. You have slipped away, so you are not self-realized at all. Even if anybody claims.
Verse 4. You're not the physical body, or the doer, or the enjoyer. You're actually pure consciousness, ever the witness, free. Now go about happy. I'll read your commentary, Baba. You must understand that you're not this physical body. If you concentrate on the consciousness of existence that's emanating from your mind, you will understand that you're that pure consciousness. This body is not yours. It's come into existence by birth, and it will disappear by its death. Consciousness is eternal. You are that pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is only a witness and free. You're not involved by any means in the actions of the body. Only through the imagination of your consciousness, by permanently achieving this awareness, you can spend the rest of your life happy.
You see, this comes to you only through experience. Only when you achieve samadhi, total stillness of the mind, when the mind gives up all its imaginations and becomes totally quiet, then you experience that you are that consciousness of existence. That's what here it is mentioned also. I am the pure consciousness of existence. Your attention, consciousness has to shift back to itself. Just now it is so strongly hidden into the body, so whatever body eats, it would appear to you as if you are eating, whereas you are not eating at all. You look into the mind can only imagine as if it is eating. The mind cannot eat. At least this much one can understand, I believe. Any human being can understand if we teach. Mind cannot eat. Only it is through the mouth the body is eating. But yet, it is the mind which is experiencing the taste of ice cream or any such thing. It is thinking that as if it is eating. It imagines and it enjoys. Whereas it's the body that which is eating. Even if you watch on the TV screen some sweet, somebody eating also, if you start imagining you are eating also, you can enjoy the same way. But yet you are not eating at all. This realization firmly with experience can come when the samadhi is achieved. Permanently it will stay there. And then all desires, attachment totally disappears. Attachment to the I also disappears when it realizes that the I itself is not there. It was only I had imagined about myself, and this myself is not at all I anymore because it has never existed. It appeared to be existed only because I had imagined. This experience comes to you. This is the highest amazing thing. You would wonder, my God, what I was thinking about me. That me was never there at all. Somebody criticized, I felt so hard, I felt like crying, I felt like breaking his head. That I never existed at all, idiot. So there is nothing. So when this experience comes, that means the consciousness has shifted back to itself. From the brain's clutches, it has now gone back to the self. This is what technically happens. The mind is into the clutches of the brain's reflection. That is how the mind experiences. If the mind withdraws, then it regains the form of pure consciousness, and consciousness realizes, I am simply liberated, I am not attached to anything, and I don't eat anything, I don't experience anything, and I don't need anything. That is the important thing. Not simply that I don't experience anything, I don't need also. When you don't need, you are liberated, you are at peace. Nobody can make you kneel down anymore because you don't need anything. If the body dies, it's okay. As the final, that is it. The body will die. After that, what will happen? What can you do? You cannot do anything else.
What will happen after the body dies, Baba?
I say, if the mind is totally silent, it has no desires, it is not going to miss anything of its own imagination and also of the universe that is around us, then it remains in the self. It will not be reborn. That means it gets totally liberated once for all. Otherwise, if there is any attachment to its own imagination or to the world around us is there, based on that imagination, it will again assume another birth and then gets to see a world according to its imagination.
Thank you,
This
Baba.
may appear a bit complicated or funny, but this is the truth we saw. It's all the game and play of the consciousness and its imaginations, creativity, that's all.
Verse 5. Liking or disliking the illusory objects of the world occurs only in the mind, not the true self. Your pure consciousness, free of confusion, changeless, go about happy. Your comments. Likes and dislikes of the objects of the world all happen due to the imagination habits of the mind, whatever the mind imagines habitually. As long as this mind is active, it cannot be aware of itself. When this mind becomes totally silent by giving up all imaginations, then it regains the form of pure consciousness. Until then, one should consider the mind is not the self. The self is the source of all knowledge. It's free from any conflict and confusion and is eternal. Through sadhana, know this truth. Move about happily. As long as this mind is active by sheer imagination, one identifies the self as the physical body and thus becomes selfish and narrow-minded. This type of attachment is an obstruction to realizing the self. With determination, if you do sadhana and follow the instructions of a self-realized master, you would be able to overcome ignorance and gain the awareness of the true self. This gives total, secure contentment and supreme peace. Such a person also develops universal love by becoming aware that the self is everywhere. This is the true knowledge of the eternal self. Baba, that's just beautiful.
It's all, when they talk, the imagination is in the mind, not in the self. I told you, whenever an imagination happens, a microspeck comes out of the real self. So this goes on imagining. Based on its imaginations, it experiences either the good or bad, happiness or unhappiness. Simply in the imagination only is there. Actually, in the world, there is neither happiness nor unhappiness. When the mind imagines, then an unhappiness is experienced or happiness is experienced. But when this mind becomes quiet and goes back to self, there is neither imagination nor any experience of the imagination. Both disappears. The cause and the reason both disappears.
What happens to the mind after self-realization?
Simply the actual mind merges with the self. That is known as manolaya, means the mind settling down to the self. When it is up, it was imagining. When it was imagining, we called the same stuff as mind. When the imagination stops, we don't call it as mind anymore, but we call it as the pure consciousness that settles into the self, that goes back, just like the wave of the ocean going back to the ocean. So it goes back to the self, and it also stops imagining anything. That's what the liberation, it settles once for all and becomes one with the self.
Baba, I imagine that the mind is producing thoughts. Do thoughts no longer arise in a self-realized person's mind?
There is a little bit of mystery in this, inconclusive mystery, whether it is the mind which starts imagining and it uses the brain to imagine, because when there is no brain, temporarily when it becomes unconscious, how can it imagine? When the brain is there, then as long as it is in the form of mind, it goes on imagining. To one side, it appears as if the mind is imagining. If you keenly watch, it appears using the brain, the mind is imagining. And the brain also is in touch with the universe through its nervous system, and it receives message and passes on the order. So in that process, the brain also reflects as a thought or as a vision. Watching that, the mind catches and registers in itself as if that is happening. So both these action and reaction are happening. So in this, it's so difficult to tell whether the mind can imagine without the help of the brain, or whether the brain came first and made the mind to imagine, is inconclusive. Because if the mind could imagine, then the self also can imagine. If the self imagines, it is no more the divine. It becomes mind again. So as it is, the whole self never imagines anything. It is in total stillness. So these type of mysteries are all inconclusive. So one doesn't go for these things. Simply settle down to the self and become quiet. That's it. Its final word is shut up and keep quiet.
Yeah, I think that was in the Vedas, Baba.
You tell yourself, enough is enough. Shut up and keep quiet.
This could be your shloka that you add to the ancient wisdom. Uh, okay, Baba. Verse 6 and 7. Realizing the self in all beings, and all beings in the self, free of the sense of I and mine, be happy. 7. You're actually that pure consciousness in which the universe manifests, like waves manifest on the ocean. Be free of this fever of the mind's activity. Your commentary. All objects, characters, stories that happen in the mind are nothing but the form of the mind and appear out of pure imagination. This world has appeared by the technique of pure imagination within the pure consciousness of the self. It is the self which is in all objects, and all objects are in the self. Nothing is a different entity from the self. When you become aware of this truth, you will be able to give up the ego that you are a body and overcome the effects of selfish narrow-mindedness. You will be free. You'll be able to free yourself from this ignorance about yourself and realize that you are that all-pervasive, pure consciousness. Thus, abiding in the self, be happy. Just like the waves of an ocean are nothing but the ocean itself, objects of the mind are nothing but the mind itself. You, as the self, are that in which the creation manifests. Mind is like a fever which obstructs itself from becoming aware of the truth, of the real self. Through sadhana, you'll be able to overcome this fever of the mind and become self-realized.
Today, one great truth I am going to tell. I might have spoken of certain theories, like the mind imagining and everything is in the mind, the same way the self's imagination created and everything, entire universe, including the brain or mind, everything is within the self. This is one theory, only one theory. Like this, few other theories some other masters likely to have given. So conclusion, none of these theories are conclusive or final. Just give up all these theories and just become quiet. That is the realization. If you are interested in self-realization, if you are interested in supreme peace, if you are interested in total liberation, doesn't want to get involved in any happiness or unhappiness, forget about all these theories. Finish. Just keep quiet. Try to become quiet. Your mind is not quiet. That's why it is problematic. And just adopt the technique and practice so that you just become quiet. You don't have to know any theory because no theory really exists at all. What exists is the ultimate truth, the Parabrahman. Only that exists. Other than that, no other theory really exists. The Parabrahman is the all-pervaded and absolute. It can play and bring out any theory anytime. It's up to that. So no theory is conclusive. Only the Parabrahman is the conclusive. For you, the advice of the self-realized master is, as soon as possible, get rid of your imaginations and try to become simply quiet. Don't bother about any theories.
Thank you, Baba. So all the theories are just perspectives that have been put forth by gurus to try to explain the truth, but it's kind of like you can have either a theory about peace or you can have peace. And to have peace, you have to give up the theory. Verse 8. Have faith. My dear child, have faith. Don't be confused in the slightest in this. You are knowledge itself, Lord of everything, the pure self, beyond the illusory universe. Your comments. The Master says, have faith and never get confused. Swamiji also used to say, lose anything but not your faith. Then your focus to observe will never get disturbed. Have faith that you are the source of everything. You are that. Amongst millions of thoughts that you have in your mind, one thing which is not a thought but reality is the consciousness of existence, a sense of feeling that you exist. Through sadhana, when you're able to focus all your attention on this consciousness of existence, then the mind is no more a mind. It would have become pure consciousness, able to become aware of itself, and thus achieve supreme peace and contentment. This is what is known as self-realization, being there in the awareness of the self. Know that this self is beyond nature, time, and space.
Yeah, exactly. This is what it is now. One sentence, have total faith and just become quiet. Mentally become quiet. When you are mentally quiet, you are actually quiet. Simply physically, if you are quiet, you may not be quiet. You may be very active in your consciousness mentally. So you become quiet means mentally you just become quiet and have faith to become quiet. Don't doubt yourself. If you become quiet, you are that. You are realized. You have come to know of everything.
All right, Baba. We have 20 minutes. Would you like to take a couple more verses, or would you like to take questions and answers? This is a long chapter.
We can try to take some. If there are people who have any questions connected to this topic of self-knowledge, then we can take the questions.
I was to gently to quieten the mind, but whenever we try quieten, whenever the thought comes up, and then it looks like an endless battle. How to overcome this continuous struggle of quieting the mind and again going back into the mind? How to overcome, Babaji? This is like so challenging.
That's why sadhana is needed. You have to practice sadhana so that your mind becomes quiet and gives up all imaginations. When there is imaginations, it doesn't give you the truth, either of yourself or of what is happening around in the world. It gives only what it imagines. So for that you have to do sadhana, meditate, and then you are able to become quiet. If you adopt the technique and just watch in between eyebrows and just do that one. Usha Prabhakar, please come in.
Pranam Babaji.
Yes, yes.
My question is, the sadhana we are doing is for self-realization. Now, this self-realization can happen in a moment, or it can be happening gradually, or does it take time to establish oneself in the self, so that you don't go back into the mind and get pulled down?
You see how it happens. If all the imaginations in the mind can disappear in one moment, that moment realization can happen. But if the imaginations are going to decrease gradually in the process, the realization also takes that much of process to become quiet. It all depends on the mind's imagination. But when thoroughly you practice a long time meditation, burning all the habits of the mind once for all, then this mind will not crop up and will not go back to the world. It will always remain in the self.
So you never use the mind for ordinary transactions, unnecessary transactions, and you stay quiet.
There is, you see, even if you need to use, you will use only that much that is necessary, very small amount of consciousness. And further, you won't allow the mind to go into imaginations. It will become quiet again and settle back into the self. It won't go back to the world.
Does it have to do only with the imaginations, or do we not also not interfere with other people and we mind our own business and stay to ourselves?
If that is possible, that is well and good. That's what the mind is habitual. So, पड़ोस में कौन सा साड़ी पहनी है मैडम जी ने, ये चुप नहीं रहता. That's what the problem is. If it can keep quiet, there is nothing like that.
But do self-realized people always stay quiet without interfering with anybody?
Yeah, they don't make any judgments actually. They don't analyze anything. They see that oneness of the divinity and remain in that self.
And they talk less, right?
Yes.
Not necessarily.
Yes. Have you seen me talking too much?
No, I talk too much.
Whatever you ask, I just answer, that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. Baba, there's a question in the chat I can read to you.
Okay.
We all have our own perspective of the universe because of the body. When self-realized, is this perspective somewhat lost, seeing not only the body as the self, but also the universe? So,
here, what you need to understand is, I am interfering in the question itself. This perspective comes only based on your mental attitude, not according to the body. So, for a self-realized soul, this mental attitude has disappeared. The mind has become pure consciousness and settled into the self. So that is why there is no attitude for the self-realized soul. That's what you need to understand. For an ordinary person, mental attitude is there, and the world appears based on that attitude, not according to the physical body.
okay, Baba, there's one more in the chat. Gurudev, if the last thought is that of our guru, is it the same as no thought? Or is this truly the boost I need in the next life to attain your lotus feet?
You see, as long as you think there is a last thought, that means you as the I is still there. Till then the complete liberation doesn't happen. And once only it is the Guru, then the I thinking of a last thought as the Guru also disappears. And then you are there.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Good evening, Babaji.
Yes.
What I noticed after the mantra and also after the meditation is that I get a sensation. And when the sensation happens, I have, the thought becomes so less. I am just, focused.
Good thing. That is a good thing. That means that when the mind is concentrated, that sensation also comes. So you try to increase the timing of the meditation. If 1 hour you achieve this total silence comes, then the progress will happen. It is going good. Try to practice more if possible. And if even if it's not possible to sit in one stretch, at least try to sit for 2 or 3 times in a whole day. So that will be more beneficial. You will progress more. It is progressive. Continue with that.
Yes, thank you.
Pranams, Babaji.
Yeah.
So, Babaji, in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, when the I disappears, does not consciousness of existence also disappear?
Yes, that thought disappears. It is there, but there is no thought that you exist. You are true.
Pranam Maharaj. I want to talk about the extreme samskara. Like there is I called Rana Munshi, there is samskara, and there is a playground called my body itself. Now between all three of us, I can see that samskara which I'm born with, it trying to control over a ID called Rana Munshi, and I can't do anything about it. Most of the time, like if I were to call samskara extreme greed or extreme lust for time being. So how we can overcome that to have more utilization of the body itself, which had been assigned to us by God?
Strongly you practice meditation and try to exercise the willpower, reasoning, this is the wrong thing. I must overcome. I must change myself. Why is this happening? I cannot be so weak. Shame on me. I must not be like this. I must not allow this wrong samskara to go. Like that, if you start thinking, you will be able to overcome.
Maharaj, sometime it does, sometime it does not. I mean,
You see यार,
it's so
एक चीज है, shame is such a thing, वो किसी को भी बदल देती है. साला
I
यार
know, sir.
शर्म
I
आनी
know.
चाहिए, मुझे ऐसा सोचा करो. Then you will become
Thank you,
quiet.
Maharaj.
I pray
Right,
for
right.
you.
Thank
My
you.
blessings are there.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Okay, well, no more questions. Would you like to take a few more verses?
10 minutes is there. 1 or 2 verses we will try. And
Okay. So back to the Ashtavakra Gita. Verse 9. The physical body, composed as it is of natural elements, comes, stays for a while, and then goes. The true self neither comes nor goes. Why then mourn over the body? We comment, it's only the physical body that's born and dies. That appears in this world and disappears. This body is composed of the ingredients of nature. The self, as pure consciousness, is beyond this nature of time and space. It's eternal, simply all-pervasive, neither comes from anywhere nor goes anywhere. When this is the truth, what's the need to mourn for the self, when the body is not the self at all?
yeah, a strong black truth is being told by Ashtavakra bluntly. That's what we all know about it. You also know this body is born and this body is going to die. But a fear occurs if you are attached to the body as me, because secure existence is very important. Insecurity is one of the basic reasons why a person or a mind goes into conflict of fear or tension, any stress, any such thing. And also when it becomes attached to this surroundings world, surroundings means this universe, this world, when we become attached as mine, then we don't want to lose that one. What happens if we die? Oh, then we won't be able to enjoy this. Today we have a $500 in the pocket, we can buy anything we want. But if we die, we won't be able to buy anything. What will happen? Will this $500 be useful? Where we go, what will happen to us? These type of thoughts, when it comes, then the fear occurs. But if we are realized, if we understand, we are not this body has to go. If necessary, we imagine and we can get another body. If not necessary, It's okay. Because sometimes people ask me, what if I want to come back to the world? Readily I tell, by it's your choice. I have no problem. Like that. So finally it is to your choice. The master leaves it to the choice. Well, these are discussions that we try, but when you practice meditation, when the mind becomes quiet and does not imagines, because like in the old saying is there, in the old days, when the mind clings on to the idea of death, then it is stressed out, it is fearful always. If that idea doesn't comes at all, why a child is happy and moving around? Because there is no idea to the child that that body is going to die. If the idea comes, that imagination comes, that creates fear. So that's all we need to become quiet through the practice of meditation. Just be quiet. Just be quiet as long as the body is there. When one day, when the really body goes, you won't know anything. There is no fear, no stress, no pain, nothing will be there. As long as the body is there, and imagination gives you the fear, pain, all these things. At least have faith in this. Still, if it is difficult, remember God. God is the best friend. There is a God. There is a Guru. That is the best friend. Imagine that always. Then you will get the anchor. At least you divert your attention. There won't be any fear. That's what this shloka talks about it. Knowing that body comes and body goes, and that is all.
Thank you, Baba. Verse 10 and 11. Let the body last until the end of the universe, or let it end today. In either case, there is no gain or loss for you, the self which is pure consciousness. 11. In you, the self, which is like an infinite ocean, let the waves of the universe rise and fall as they do. There is neither gain nor loss to you. Your comments. In this shloka, the Master reminds us, when the self is unchangeable and indestructible, what difference does it make if the body dies today or goes on until the end of time and space? Birth and death of the body are not going to harm the self in any way. Just like an object in the mind may appear and disappear, it will not affect the existence quality of the mind in any way. You, as the self, are the infinite existence. Let the appearance of the universe happen, created simply based on the imagination technology. And in the same way, the disappearance happening should not make any difference to you, just like things appearing and disappearing within the mind do not make any difference to the mind. Its existence, which is the combination of consciousness and energy. You have nothing to gain or lose.
It's okay about the lengthy comments of mine. Today I will tell you a simple, short example. Like in your mind, a thought comes and you are attached to that thought. After some time, that thought goes and some other thought comes. You become attached to that thought. You won't be bothering about that thought which has gone out of your mind, disappeared. You won't be bothering. Because you know very well that thought was only there as an imagination. That thought has gone and some other imagination. Your mind has become preoccupied with some other imagination. That is why it is not worried about the thought that has gone away. So like that, if you keep your mind engaged to the divinity, then it will not bother when the body goes, when the body remains. Nothing will come to the mind. You won't have any stress at all. It can be as simple if you practice this. Divert the attention of the mind. That is all that is needed here. Then practice meditation. Then everything will become silent. Then you will know the truth. That's it. Don't have to bother about all these explanations and lengthy comments. So if this is all, just meditate Just watch in between eyebrows. Just try to become quiet so that no imagination comes. Any imagination comes, it creates fear unnecessarily. Why should we imagine? Let us not imagine anything. Enjoy a scoop of ice cream.
Baba, even if it's imagination of something good, then you fear losing it, or you
Yeah,
have a
that's
it's
why I'm
gone.
telling, just become quiet. Don't imagine anything finally. Then even the imagination is a pleasant one, then you don't want to lose that one also. Then another fear comes. This happens to many people, everybody almost in the life also. When there is so much of pleasant, we have all our dear ones, loved ones, then suddenly a fear occurs. Oh God, this need should not change. Always the life should be like this only, we should not lose. This type of thought comes and the fear occurs. So best to become quiet.
Babaji, today's question is spiritual or not. I want to ask, like, my son is on laptop all the time. My husband is also reading novella on his mobile. So my mother says, I have to talk to them, or most of the time I should initiate the talks. So, like Abhi Usha ji was saying that she talks a lot. How much important it is for a girl, lady of the house to keep on talking to these digital screen tied people of the house.
You see, the day when you die, neither your husband will come with you nor your son will come with you. So meditate for
Yes, Baba.
yourself. Let them be engaged with their own laptops and their own talkings. One time you tell, see, what you are doing is wrong. If you get addicted to this laptop like this, you will not achieve anything. I am not going to waste my time with you all always talking. I am going to meditate. You want to meditate, you meditate. If they listen to you, they listen. If they don't listen to you, you just meditate. Good girl.
Yes,
Okay?
Babaji.
All the best.
It would be helpful, Baba, if you could explain what happens to memory after self-realization. Memory is a long time accumulation of a bunch of imaginations.
You see,
What happens to that
memory,
after?
memory can remain in the brain, but the mind is totally liberated. It doesn't allow anything to play on it. So it has created a password and put all the memory in a folder. It won't go to touch unless it is very much necessary for any reasoning of the world. Such a memory will not be troubling a self-realized master because it is pure and it is not holding any memory. It's just like a vague dream that is over. Nothing seems to have happened in the past also. Nothing seems to be happening in the present, or there is nothing in the future. Like that, the mind remains liberated. So if the brain is holding the memory as long as it is alive, it will be put in a folder and a strong password so that unnecessarily it will not be touched and troubled. That is how a self-realized master remains pure and in peace always.
And Baba, with the death of the body and the brain, those memories
Then the
are all
memory
lost.
goes. Previous life's memory goes. That's how all of you say, just like you are born in this body. Suppose let us assume you were born in previously also. Many times you were born and you died. Do you remember any of them? You don't. Sincerely, be sincere. Don't tell me lies by dreaming or anybody telling all these things are all myths and imaginations, lies. Nobody remembers because all the previous body's brain died. With the brain's death, memory is lost. That's why you have peace. Ask Ashtavakra. If you had met Ashtavakra, Ashtavakra himself tells the forgetfulness of the past is the divine's grace. In this one life itself, to manage all the memories is so difficult. Emotions. The question itself says, if you try to remember 50 lives and you remember, you will go mad. It's a grace. With the death of the body and brain, memory is lost. So don't worry. Now also the memory is in the brain. You purify your mind, you can have the peace. If necessary only, you can try to remember what happened previous day or previous year or anything. It will be in the brain. If it is not necessary, you just be in your peace. Don't allow all the memory to be playing in the mind. People get stressed out. They're unable to let go the things in the mind. It keeps playing in the mind. That is why they are stressed out. For a yogi, this is not there. The mind is at peace. Nothing has happened at all.
So, Baba, is the fundamental nature of the person, the subtle carried on in a subtle body? Is there a subtle body that carries on? If not the memories, if those are all stored in the brain and those are lost with the death of the brain, is the fundamental character or qualities of that person, soul, carried on to another birth?
Yes, if you have not cleared all of them in the mind, if the mind is holding, then that will be carried to the next birth, which will become the basic nature of observation capacity, attitude, understanding capacity, all these changes. So many people see the dead body, only one prince became puzzled and he became Buddha. See, that is the understanding and observation capacity differs from person to person. That is how one person carries to the next body. But when this body is available, if you can totally purify your mind, you will not be reborn at all. If you are born, the problem is there. If you are not reborn, there is no problem at all. This is the quote of the day. So wonderful for being with you all. Some lovely questions came, giving me an opportunity of expressing myself more bluntly. I am trying to become like Ashtavakra a little bit sometimes. Don't mind. It is the truth. What can I say? Ashtavakra has said like that. So I am just trying to repeat the same thing. All the best for you all. May you all be blessed by the Divine Guru. Practice meditation. We'll see you again after a couple of weeks, again fortnight in these sessions.